Hello everybody, my friends and family and whoever is watching this. In this video I'm going to share with you a method of using the vapor and fume from garlics and onions in order to combat your infections, to combat cold and flu and possibly COVID-19. Disclaimer, I'm not an expert, I'm an engineer. I've done some experiments with this for years. The results have been fantastic. So I'm basically sharing with you, and it is the onus is on you to try it or to consult a person who is more experienced or who is a professional, for example, your family doctor, and ask them to really give this a try and think about it. What I'm telling you, so basically, as a disclaimer, I'm not taking responsibility, but I hope that you give this a try. A little bit of background, we get cold. I go swimming 3 times a week. From the water, maybe germs, stays in my system overnight, and the day after I would cough. This has been a problem for years. And people would comment me, oh, you're coughing, and I would say that no, I have just this congestion from swimming. I used to use salt water to gurgle and wash my throat and even wash my nose. The problem was that the moisture would stay, and overnight it would spread. And if you're in the middle of some congestion or infection or sore throat or nasal infection, it would spread it would make it spread. So that was kind of double-edged sword. It had benefit, it had some disadvantages. In 2016 I had to present at a seminar. 3 days before that I got sick. I used this method aggressively, and in 3 days I got really well and ready to do the seminar. So I'm just checking my notes from time to time. Basically what is this based on is you chop slices of onions and then you chop them to smaller pieces. You can do the same with garlic. You chop it up into small slices, and then you place these in a Ziploc bag or a Ziploc cup like this. It is important that it has a lid, or you are able to zip it up, because you don't want to leave it outside exposed to the air. What you do, you inhale it. You keep it inside, deep breaths. Slowly you exhale it from your mouth and from your throat, from your nose. So you're exhaling it, and the great thing about this fume and vapor is that it kills germs and bacteria. It's disinfecting, and it gets to the remote areas of your lungs when you take deep breaths, and remote areas of your sinuses and nasal cavities, and even close to your ears. So it reaches everywhere. It heals it kills the bacteria, and sometimes maybe 10 minutes later a mucus comes out, something comes out, the body sends out what is to be discarded. It has been very effective since I used to go to see a doctor maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and would get antibiotics because of my upper lung infections. And since 2016, and now the 4 years, I've gone to see a doctor for infection like that, for cold or upper chest infection, only one time, and I believe that time I had overused this. The point is that not to overdo this. It may cause burning and some damage, maybe temporary damage to your tissues, Do not overdo this. Maybe when you feel that you have been in contact with somebody who has been sick, and when you come home, or if you have this with you, you do a 3 times inhalation, or as many as you feel comfortable. You put the lid back, and then maybe at night you do the same thing. So I'm presenting 3 methods to you based on my experience. One was what I presented, method 1. You slice it, you put it here, and you inhale it. You put it in the fridge. Make sure this is tight. And this may stay, well, for half a day to maximum a day, not longer than that. Then you need to dispose it. Method 2 is that the kids don't like it, may not want to do it, but you unlid it, you take the lid off, and you put it beside the bedside. And overnight, I do it for myself. Overnight, if I'm really sick, this will cure me. This will heal me. In the morning, everything is cleared up, and I feel much better. I haven't done this. I'm used to the smell. I can understand that some people hate it, but it is an acquired smell. If you give it a try and you think that this is going to heal you, you will like it. It's all in our heads, right? I enjoy it. Calms me overnight. But I'm thinking that maybe you can add some peppermint or just mint. Spray some mint on it to mask the smell. I don't believe that would affect the healing effect of these garlics and onions, so that shouldn't be a problem. So that's method 2. You put it on the bedside rather than around the house. Overnight, you sleep, it takes care of you. Method 2 is very aggressive. This is what I did in 2016, and from time to time I do. If I feel that I'm getting sick, I do this. I don't necessarily recommend it to everybody. This is not for everybody, but this is how I do it. And I've seen people use hot pepper and they chew it and they even swallow it, and it doesn't bother them. What I do, I chew some onions and a piece of garlic like this. I take a piece of garlic with onion. It is burning my tongue, so that may not be for everybody. I don't swallow it. A lot of remedies are based on eating and digesting these good vegetables or herbs. But this is, you're not swallowing it, but chopping it off and produce a lot of fume. Now you inhale it. And exhaling slowly. Deep breath is the key. Holding a pressure inside is the key. I'm feeling it in my ears too. After a few minutes, you can spit it out. I'm going to use my carburetor. And of course, after that, you need to floss. You need to brush with toothpaste or use a mouthwash, because you don't want to be to smell bad, to stink, because it really stinks. A lot of people hate that. So nothing is just good. It doesn't come easy. I'm checking my notes right now. So I talked about the methods that I use. Maybe other people can try other things like peppermint, hot pepper, alcohol inhaling. Now, this may sound crazy, but when I use sanitizers, I also smell it. I let it go to my system. It helps me. Sometimes 5 minutes later, I have a piece of mucus or whatever it is called, and I spit it out. Vinegar is really maybe diluted. You can use for gargling. For inhaling, it's very aggressive. I don't recommend it. It goes right to your head, and I don't know if it is. It may be harmful or not. So if you are in medical sciences and clinical testing, I want you to give this a try. Take the bias away. I know that a lot of people think medicine, vaccines, and everything like that is the cure. But what about if this is the cure for cold and flu and possibly COVID-19? We have to give it a try. If you have respiratory infection, respiratory tract infection, or you have even a head cold, because probably if your body is fighting a cold, it's more susceptible to COVID-19 too. So I don't know if this is going to directly kill COVID-19, but I know based on my experience that this is going to kill lots of germs and bacteria and help your body recover fast. In whichever way we help our body recover fast and take care of one thing, the body can take care of other things. So we are helping our body with this system. And this is not really new. Not only it has been practiced for perhaps centuries, but we do it on daily basis. When you have salad, in your salad you have chopped onions, provided it was fresh salad, it is doing the same thing without noticing. If you're cooking and you're chopping up onions and garlic, you're doing the same thing. You're disinfecting your system. But 2016, I started this. I have been very happy with the results. But later I thought about it, that this is ringing a bell in me. And then I remembered vaguely when I was a kid, I would go upstairs and in a separate studio, or flat, my grandma lived, and I would check on her every day. Sometimes I would see her having some sliced onions in a napkin or in a plastic bag, disposable, and then I would ask her, "What are you doing, Grandma?" She said that I'm inhaling this. I cannot get sick. I cannot afford getting sick. She was living by herself, and this way she was combating cold and flu. So now I remember that it was back in my mind when I came to this and I started experimenting. Give this a try. I call this my grandma Fatemeh's remedy. I hope that it helps you. Leave me some messages if it helped you, and stay away from COVID-19. Did I say Happy Nowruz 2020 or 1399 Hijri Shamsi? Happy spring equinox to everybody. Hope we get past this pandemic fast. Cheers.